クルナビのお時間です。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございます。ピースボートクルーズディレクターの椎名のり子です。この番組では船内の最新情報、特選情報をお届けしております。本日も洋上大運動会の最新情報が届いております。ではスタッフの小川さん、お願いします。
ピースボートの小川裕太郎です。9月12日は洋上大運動会の企画が盛りだくさんとなっております。団のリーダーを決める団長を決める企画や各団の集まりがいよいよ始動します。また皆さんの洋上大運動会に対する思いをビデオメッセージで集める企画も行いますので、ぜひ皆さんご協力をよろしくお願いします。どなたでも大歓迎となっております。それでは運動会盛り上げるぞおーせーの
いよいよ本船は虹の国南アフリカに近づいてまいりました。南アフリカは雄大な風景と野生動物との出会いに加え、厳しい歴史や社会問題に触れる寄港地でもあります。本日は南アフリカをより深く知るためにポートルイスからケープタウンまでご乗船されている水先案内人のトニー・エルヴィンさんをお迎えしております。どうぞお越しください。
Hello, my name is Tony.
よろしくお願いします。トニーさんはイギリス・ロンドンのご出身です。20年にわたりロンドン、アムステルダム、そしてメルボルン、ケープタウンなどでレストラン業界に携わってきました。そんな中、若者や社会的に恵まれない方に向けたコミュニティ作りに深く関心を持つようになり、南アフリカに移住をされます。かつて南アフリカが行っていた人種隔離政策、アパルトヘイトが残したタウンシップでの問題解決に力を注いでいらっしゃいます。ピースボートが南アフリカに訪れる際にもタウンシップに訪れるツアーを行っていますが、トニーさん、タウンシップは一体どんな場所なんでしょうか？
So, a township is a place that under apartheid where black people had to live. They weren't allowed to live anywhere else in the country but in designated areas called townships.
ピースボートとも10年ぐらいのお付き合いになってきてますけれども、ピースボートはどんな印象をお持ちでしょうか
I've been working with Peace Boat now for over 11 years now, and it's a very good working relationship because it's sustainable. They work in partnership with the organisation that I lead in this township, and a partnership that is mutual is sustainable. So over the last 10 years, we've been working hard to make the Langa community cleaner, greener and safer. And that allows us to have tourism. And so our long relationship with Peace Boat has meant that tourism has grown significantly in the township.
ありがとうございます。今日は何かおすすめの企画をお持ちいただいたということなんですが、ご紹介いただいてもよろしいですか？
So on the 12th of September, I will be doing my final lecture, which is something I'm very passionate about, which is how does one make a community sustainable? So it's the work of my organisation and the different steps that we've taken to becoming the world-class project that we are today.
はい、ということで当日の船内新聞をご確認いただければと思います。皆さんのたくさんのご参加お待ちしております。来てください。
Bye, hope to see you there. Bye.
バイバイ。さあ、本日のクルナビは以上になりますが、最後に新コーナー Let's Talk with 水庵をご覧いただきます。講座では聞けないピースボートでの日々や船内の様子など、さまざまなことを水先案内人の方に聞いてみました。本日のゲストはカレド・エマムさん、聞き手はピースボートスタッフの伊藤正恵です。それでは次回のクルナビでお会いしましょう。チャオチャオ。
How are you doing? Today we have some special guests to this program. He is Khaled Imam from Egypt, and then he's a lawyer, international human rights lawyer, and he's also a teaching fellow at Harvard University. So he joined us this peace boat voyage from Shenzhen, China, and then he'll be here until Cape Town. Thank you for coming today. Khaled, how's everything?
Great, thank you, Masai. It's best life ever.
Best life ever. That's a good thing to know. So far you have done 5 lectures. So how have you find the difference between teaching at Harvard and here on Peace Boat?
Oh yeah, that's interesting question.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
think
curious.
a lot about it. I love Peace Boat because we are in the ocean, and I think it just gives different vibes and more of positive vibes. First of all, people come here with the expectations or motivation to do something about peace building and culture, which makes it easier to connect with people in a short amount of time compared to doing a full class at Harvard, and then you just start to connect at the personal level with the students at the end of the semester. Here, connections happens so fast because I think people comes with a similar mindset of we are coming here to talk to one another, meet and create and make friendships and learn about new cultures. So that's very unique on Peace Boat.
Yeah, that's good. I always think because sometimes when we are on land, we have to make ourselves to go to lectures or to events, and then sometimes we have to pay for it. But here, you see the newspaper, and then you find something interesting, and then you just go and take a look at that, and then.
Absolutely, I think this is a really good point, because at Harvard or in a university level in general, students has to attend a class to earn a grade and pass. Here, people voluntarily show up for these events, which means they care about. And when I did my first event, it was just so fascinating to see so many people.
Yes,
the room was really full.
If you didn't know, there was another venue, and we had broadcasting.
Oh, really?
Yes, I forgot to tell you about that. But yeah, so the theater was more than full. So some people went to the other venue to see the broadcasting live streaming.
Yeah, and that really gives me hope when I see hundreds of people showing up for an event about the current status of our world and conflict in this world. It shows that people still care. And before the event, I was thinking, this is not dancing or music event, so it's not really fun. People will not show up. Who will show up for an event about global conflict and wars in the morning? But many showed up and asked me many questions after the event, and that's again really gives me hope that maybe we can do something with
so
it.
many people still keep coming after 4 or 5 lectures, and then I can see people are really wanting to know something from your lectures, and then I think it's really hope, like it's hope.
That's right.
Yes. So the first lecture, Fragile World, and then your lecture reminds us again, we are living peacefully, but there are so many conflicts and people in, hunger or, like they don't even know if they can live next day. So it was quite shocking, and then, so I wanted to know if you receive any reaction from passengers on your first lecture.
Absolutely, and that's one of my motivations, always to connect this like 2 separate worlds. We always have 2 different worlds. People who live in privilege and a peaceful life, and it's a bubble. So you might think that this is the reality for everyone, because you never lived in conflict and you don't know what it means and for the people who lives there. For example, American people lived in peace for many years. Despite that, America itself engaged in so many wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam, and many others. But Americans themselves, they lived in a privilege and a peaceful life. And I do think that with this privilege and freedom, there is responsibility comes with it as well, which is being aware of what's happening around the world. And being aware means to act. And actually, a few days ago, I saw that many passengers here on Peace Boat donating for some peace boat projects in Cambodia and other countries, and this gives me so much hope, because again, they are not just learning and showing solidarity, but they are also acting and donating and doing the little thing they can do to help these people in other places. So one of my goals was always to connect these two things together. And yes, many people came to me after the lecture and say, oh, we didn't know about that. We didn't know that this is that bad in Sudan or Myanmar or many other places. And I see this as a good step for people to really act and take actions.
So, all right, you still have one lecture left about Africa. Why is Africa poor? And then, what's your message to the passengers through the final lecture?
Yeah, my first message from this lecture will be that there's no absolute when we talk about Africa, because mostly in the African politics or policies, some people will say Africa is very poor, and they will look at Africa as only this devastating place, and some other think that Africa is just rich as any other part of the world. And I think both are wrong. So in Africa, we have the rich and we have the poor. But there is a fundamental question, which is why so many Africans, millions of Africans, still live in poverty. And we are sailing close to Madagascar, which is one of the most poorest nations on earth. Many others also in the South Africa regions still live in poverty. So why is that? And my message is that some of our people in Africa always blame colonization for being the reason behind why Africa is poor today. And they think that because of the Western power and powerful state, Africa will always be poor. And some other think that Africa is poor because we are just not investing enough in ourselves. We are not just hard-working people. And I think both also narrative are wrong, because if we solely blame colonization that was 50 or 60 years ago for being the reason behind our issues today in Africa, including poverty and conflict, we are removing our own agency. We have agency to change. And I think 50 or 60 years is enough for any nation to prosper and move from this current reality to a better future. And also, if we only blame our own people for being the only reason behind why our nations still struggles with many aspects, including economy, education, freedom, democracy, justice, corruption, many of these issues, we are also forgetting the legacy of the colonization that controlled our nations and stole our resources for so many years.
Right. Wow. We are so looking forward to your final lecture.
Thank you so much. Thank you. ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
我们是恩爱二人组，日出日落时间
在这边。